In a companion video, I showed how to make a tabletop forge out of a soup can. In case you missed it, a link to that video is in the video description below. In this video, I'll be showing how I used this forge to make a knife out of a plain steel rod. I did this with no instruction or research into correct techniques for knife making, so this is by no means a definitive guide, and I'm sure I made plenty of mistakes. The purpose of this video is simply to demonstrate how easily metal can be shaped using this forge, even by someone with no previous experience, such as myself. I started by heating the end of a 1/4 inch plain steel rod in the forge until several inches became red hot. This section is what the blade is to be formed out of. Using the anvil surface on a bench vise to hammer against, the rod is pounded flat as it cools. Repeating this process several times will bring the seal to a thickness where the shape of the blade can start to be defined. With the side that is to be the spine of the blade against the anvil, a few careful hammer strokes will flatten out any bumps and really make the steel start to look knife-like. The hot steel behaves a lot like clay under the hammer blows, making it quite easy to sculpt into simple shapes. Harder hammer strokes are focused on the edge of the blade so that it narrows where it will be sharpened and widens at the spine for strength. Once the blade is the approximate shape that is desired, the unshaped end of the rod is cut down to the length of a suitable handle and pounded until it reaches the thickness of the blade's spine. The curve of the handle that is seen on my knife happened naturally, and I thought it looked pretty nice. If a straight handle were desired, it could be heated and straightened on the anvil in the same way as the spine was earlier. With the rough shaping finished, the knife can be taken out to a grinding wheel to make some final adjustments. Sharpening should be done on a whetstone later, but an initial edge can be given to the blade now. To make the handle, I took a block of wood and cut a groove halfway through it with a handsaw. The back of the knife is tapped into the groove until it sits firmly on the bottom. Back at the grinding wheel, the excess wood is carved away from the handle until it's flush with the steel and approximately shaped as desired. To permanently affix the wood to the steel, my plan was to use pins cut from a brass brazing rod. 3 holes were drilled through the handle to fit the rod. The pins cut from the rod were then placed through the holes, and my intent was to flare the ends with a hammer so that they could not be removed. This did not work as well as intended, as the pins mostly bent over in the soft pine. Even so, they did work to hold the handle together, and some sandpaper cleaned up the rough edges. With a little bit of walnut stain on the handle and a coating of mineral oil to prevent rust, this knife is finished. For a first try and an hour's work, I don't think this knife turned out too bad, but leave me some feedback in the comments below. If you still haven't seen how I made this forge, remember to check the video description or click on the screen now. You can also view several of my past videos by clicking any of these boxes. Thanks for watching.